Hello and welcome to Creative Wonder, the podcast where we talk shop, spill secrets, and occasionally pretend we have everything figured out. I'm your host, Tae Photography, a photographer who helps marketers make their products, people, and services look so good they practically sell themselves. I've always been curious about how other creatives run their businesses, how they find clients, market themselves, and somehow turn ideas into actual income. So I made this podcast as an excuse to ask them all those questions. Each episode, I sit down with creative professionals to dig into their marketing strategies, how they use photography, and the real story behind how they got to where they are. And if you're a creative professional with a great story, interesting marketing ideas, or a business journey people should hear about, I'd love to connect. There's a good chance you should be on the show. All right, let's get into it. Hey, Lauren, how's it going?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Not bad, not bad. Glad I could steal you away from your job to chat a little bit about what you do.
Yeah,
Sorry,
happy to chat.
my throat is a little bit raspy today, so I apologize for that.
No stress. It's the time of year for that, so
Mhm.
all good.
At least we haven't succumbed to any of the
Oh,
major sicknesses, so I'm feeling very lucky at the moment.
good. Yes, we've had some team members down for the count in the past few
Oof.
weeks, so yeah, I'm happy to hear that all is well over there.
Cool, cool. So what I'm doing is interviewing people about marketing, about advertising stuff, and you play a role in that because you deal with accounts at Jan Kelly Marketing Agency, and I just want to dive a little bit deeper into what you do and some of the strategies you might have, and maybe people will find it helpful to hear your perspective on things. So
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
let's just dive right into it. I want to hear a little bit about your journey to where you are right now. Like, how did you get there? Did you have schooling? Did something um, prompt you to go into this sort of business, or did you just fall into it, or what? How did you end up where you are?
So I did not go to school for this. I actually studied international development, which was kind of a mix of politics and economics. I think there are lots of things that I learned in school that have transferred really well into what I do now. But kind of when I wrapped up school, I was happy to get my degree, but I think at that point I had figured out that that was not, that area was not the next step for me. I was super interested in digital space and what I was seeing on social media and keeping up with trends. And I will say I'm a chronically online human being. So marketing kind of seemed like a natural fit for me. And then when I was exploring sort of places in the GTA, I came across Jan Kelly. And right away, I was super drawn in by what I saw for the culture. The work they had done, and then doing a little bit of reading up on the humanology work, which is combining creativity and the tools and tech that are available to us. It felt like a fit for me. And I knew it would be a great learning experience. So far, super happy with how it all worked out.
That's pretty cool. Can you tell me a little bit about the culture at your work that makes it different?
Yeah, so the culture is a huge part of Jan Kelly. I feel like when I step into work in the morning, I'm seeing my friends and I'm seeing people that I really love to work with and I respect, and they're all great, talented individuals. Honestly, our leadership team does an amazing job of keeping up the culture. There's a really strong focus on eating lunches together every day and finding opportunities to work with people that you don't always get to work with and in-person time together. We also do lots of fun things. Like we have a loaf baking competition and we have time away in the summer that we spend together collaborating at like a cabin retreat, which is super fun. So they do a really good job of fostering that culture, I would say.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I like that.
Mm,
I like that. I
yeah.
I know I don't have a large crew of people that I work with, but the people that do occasionally, come into our studio or offices for editing purposes, or I know Adam has a few people on staff. It's just it makes all the difference when you get along with people and you enjoy being around them, and
Yeah.
it's more of a family sort of situation or a friend situation almost
Yep.
in some respects, and I don't know. There's something really nice about it being such a positive atmosphere to work in, right? So
Yeah,
it makes a
absolutely.
huge difference.
Yeah.
What does a typical day for you look like at work?
A typical day is busy. I would say for me, I start off every day with coffee. That is essential. But then it's kind of sitting down and prioritizing what my day or my week might look like. I am a big advocate for a physical to-do list. So I have my notepad in front of me. I've got all my boxes to check. Usually from there, I jump into my morning meetings or my team meetings. But a typical day is a lot of, I would say, client communications and then also internal team communications. I'm really involved in keeping our campaigns moving, project management, making sure everything is moving smoothly. So I would say prioritizing and time management is a huge part of my day and
Mhm.
probably the most important part of my day.
So when it comes to projects that you're working on, how do you manage to balance, protecting the creative vision that you or your group comes up with while still keeping the client happy?
This one's tricky, but I think our team does a really good job of being intentional about our choices and being open and honest and over communicating. I think it's super important when you work with clients who really see you as that strategic advisor, sorry, or extension of their team. It opens the door for a lot of trust and understanding. So I think sitting down and having those conversations and being like, we chose to do this for this reason, or best practices tell us that we need to do this, or honestly, if you want to see results that you're hoping to see, this would be the best next step. So while it is tricky to have those conversations, I think establishing that trust with client and really being honest and intentional is super important.
Oh, that's fantastic because that goes right into my next question about how do you approach building strong and trusting relationships with client? Like, what are your strategies there? Just
Honestly,
like being honest and being authentic, or just giving
yeah.
them, the facts, or
I would say I'm a people person, so even before that, just getting to know them and who they are, who they work with, what success looks like to them, what their day looks like is super important. I think that kind of opens the door for a stronger relationship and stronger trust, which then paves the way into having those conversations about intention and why we chose to do the things that we do. But yeah, I would say for me, getting to know them and their life and what they're passionate about is super important, and it's helped me create really strong relationships along the way. So,
I like that. That's good. I know it's super important in my line of work as far as,
yeah.
establishing those relationships with clients because you want them to be loyal, right? And come back
Yes.
because they
Yeah.
enjoyed the experience and were able to get a great product from you or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
So I understand that. That makes sense.
Totally.
What's the most challenging client project or problem you've helped solve? And how did you approach it?
I've had some crazy ones. I mean, I've only been at Jan Kelly for 3 years, but just with how fast paced and how quickly things can change in the industry, there's been a few that have come up. But I would say one that comes to mind, I think it was a few Christmases ago, was we were in the middle of working through a campaign that was set to launch early in the new year. And last minute, we had a new stakeholder come in and ask for a creative concept change after work had been created. And we were kind of right in the
Oh
middle of
no.
asset production. Yes. So that caused us to spiral a little bit, but also kind of come back, reconnect, create a new strategy. And it taught us a lot about working quickly and working well with each other. So that was a challenging one, great learning experience. But yeah, that's one that comes to mind, I would say.
I know the agency work, from what I've heard secondhand, right? Because I'm not actually in agency
Hmm.
work, but it seems very fast paced. It seems very stressful, very last minute. Um, how do you go about like dealing with that stress and pressure? Like, how do you personally manage it?
Yeah, I would say, as I mentioned before, like time management is huge to me. That is the key. Like, whether it's blocking out holds in my calendar to make sure that I'm getting the things I need to do done, having my checklist beside me. When things start to feel super fast paced and maybe overwhelming, I'm a huge advocate for taking a short break. I'll use my lunch, I'll go for walks outside, even in the winter, just to clear my head and kind of get fresh air and reset a little bit. So I would say, yeah, I'm a big advocate for kind of those wellness moments and self-care moments. But then also being organized and making sure I have my day set up well is super important.
Sounds like you're a very organized person, and I love that.
It's definitely key for this role. It is an important trait, I would say.
So, what does a win look like for you that maybe other people wouldn't recognize from outside of your perspective?
I feel like anyone in marketing would say a first round approval with no notes because that is just like the ultimate, and in your world too, that is like the ultimate win. But I think going beyond that a little bit is I think people, especially in the digital space, only see the finished product when they're on Instagram, on LinkedIn, wherever it is. But we know behind the scenes like how many months, years, how much planning, strategy went into things. So for me, since my role is being there at the very beginning from the first briefing call to making sure it gets live and then being part of those reporting calls after, seeing the work that I've done come to life is always exciting. It's always such a great sigh of relief. And then it adds to it even more when clients super happy and you're bringing in great results. But I think just seeing something that you worked so hard on for so long come to life is huge.
What is the most satisfying campaign you've ever worked on, and why did it stand out for you?
We did one recently, actually, that comes to mind. It was for a US based flooring company, and the creative we did was, I think, some of our team's best work. It was super smart, it was catchy, it was really visually engaging. We're still working on it right now, so I can't say too much, but I'm really excited to see how it fully comes to life and seeing it in market. Um, yeah, we were all super proud of that one.
Oh, that's exciting. So, when does that come out?
We're looking, I think it'll be in the new year.
Yeah.
It's going to be live. We're still working through finalizing assets right now.
Hopefully, there aren't too many last minute changes from the client.
Yes, fingers crossed.
All right. So, here's a silly question for you. If you could ban one buzzword from your industry, what would it be?
This one, I think my friends and family would have a better answer to this. It would be circle back because that has snuck into my vocab in all areas of my life. Um, so yeah, I think the people around me would probably say circle back, and I think for their sake, I would say that one too.
Okay. What ad do you secretly love, even if it's cringy? Or it doesn't have to be, but what do you love
Yeah,
that?
I don't know if it's cringy, but I've been loving all of the out of home activations I've been seeing lately. I think it's been really cool to see more traditional forms of marketing coming back into the focus and really making an impact. I saw one on LinkedIn last night that I really liked, and it was for Ralph Lauren, Ralph's Coffee. And they did a really cool kind of holiday market in London, and I saw pictures of it, and I was like, I want to go there. So big fan
Nice.
of the activations I've been seeing.
I mean, I didn't even know Ralph Lauren did coffee, to be honest. So, I
Yeah,
mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm not on the right platforms to see it or whatever. I don't know.
it looked very pretty.
So, like going into the future, do you have any like wish lists of the kinds of projects you would want to work on?
Right now, I'm super ingrained in the B2B building materials space. So I think eventually I'd love to kind of work with a B2C business model client. I think that industry is super cool because they have really fast buying cycles and you can really have the opportunity to do some bold creative and push boundaries. And I think it also really taps into trends and cultural moments we're seeing. So I would love to get into the B2C space at some point.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I imagine it would be a quicker season for campaigns in the BDC world.
Oh yeah. Yeah, even what you see on TikTok, Instagram, everywhere, it's like for one week something's the hot new thing and then the next it's something else. So very fast paced, but cool for sure.
So, are you seeing any trends in, like you mentioned trends earlier, but
Mhm.
are you seeing any that you really like?
I it kind of ties into what I said, but I'm loving the out of home activations. I think, like I said, also I'm chronically online, so I'm seeing lots of influencer content, lots of UGC content, and I think some brands, especially in the US, are doing a really cool way of working with influencers by doing these really cool brand collabs, like especially around Christmas time, they're delivering advent calendars or having personal team members go to people's doors and deliver things to them, big brand trips. I think they're really working with their audience in cool ways.
Can you explain to me, because I might not know the lingo, what
Mhm.
out of home, experience would be, or what was
Yeah,
it?
so out of home, yeah,
Activation, out of home
yeah.
activation.
So it's kind of any type of like campaign, I guess, scene that you would see that isn't digital. So I've seen one, I forget what brand it was for, but it was a car that was on the street that was crushed, I think, with a bunch of drywall. And that was part of the brand's activation, is having people walk by and be like, oh wow, what is that? They just have really cool stopping power. So yeah, it's really sort of any like scene that a brand is putting on in person that you would walk by and see.
Yeah, like something that would really grab your attention. That's not
Yeah.
normal. That is out of the ordinary. That's
Hmm.
physical, right? In the physical
Yes,
world.
physical.
I
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that.
Even like billboards would be an easier example to think of. Like you drive by those all the time and there's cool, interesting ones. So that would be an out of home tactic that a brand would use.
I love hearing about all these different kinds of like marketing strategies and like all the different ways that you can reach people in different
Yeah.
platforms and stuff like that. It's very fascinating.
It's
Um,
very fascinating.
so, just to wrap up, what would be some advice that you would maybe give to someone who might potentially be interested in a similar job to yours?
I think honestly, have an open mind and be curious and ready to dig in. Being someone who didn't go to school for this, it was a big learning curve, but I think staying open minded and eager to learn and keep up with things was what really helped me like kind of push to the next few steps in my career. Um, it's a big thing that we say at Jan Kelly, but be curious, be excited to learn more. I would say that that's crucial for sure.
Very nice, very nice. I like that
Yeah,
advice. That's good. That's good. Well, I think that kind of does it for us. I mean, that's all the questions I had. And if I have any more, I'll let you know. But
awesome.
thank you so much for being here. Thank you for chatting with me, giving me a little bit of insight into your world.
Yeah,
It's been
anytime.
cool. All right. See you later.
Thanks so much.
That's it for this episode of Creative Wonder with Tae. Thanks for giving it a listen. This podcast is produced by Tae Photography. If you enjoyed today's conversation, make sure to follow the show, leave a comment or rating, and share it with someone who'd love it too. It really makes a difference. And if you need commercial photography that actually grabs attention instead of getting lost in the scroll, get in touch. My goal is to take the chaos out of commercial shoots and turn them into a smooth, easy process. You can find me online at tae.ca or on Instagram at tae_creatives. Okay, go make something beautiful and back up your hard drives.